Am I the a-hole for the way I reacted when I found out my brother is getting married and I'm not invited? Technically, he's my half-brother. We have different mothers and there's a 17-year age difference. I feel like I may be the asshole. We didn't grow up together, but in the last couple of years before our dad died, we became closer. Like we were friends. Then Dad had his strokes. I went with him and stayed for 8 days in the hospital while he was in a coma. I watched as he withered away, and I held his hand as he left this earth. To say it changed me would be an understatement. Before, I was known as the family screw-up. I was on drugs, and because our father's strokes were drug-related, I became sober because I never wanted my children to experience the same kind of heartache. In a few days, I'll be 6 years clean from meth, and this may mark me 5 years sober of opioids. I had to be weaned off of opioids for a year before going cold turkey. There was so much drama after Dad died. There was an incident where one of my other brothers spanked my child, and they put their hand behind their back and got hit on the wrist. It left a bruise, and my mother used that as reason to call CPS on me. Please, before I get eviscerated in the comments, my brother had stepped in to discipline because I was so mentally exhausted I felt like I wasn't even there. We were raised up with physical discipline, and I've taken parenting classes, and I've been in therapy for over 5 years to unlearn a lot of the things I was taught. My mother, Ruth, reported my brother, my sister, and myself to CPS. We were investigated. During that time, my brother Nick told me that if I didn't fix this for Junior, that he would never speak to me again. So I did. I claimed it was me. I told them that I lost my temper and spanked him. This was the 5th time I had been reported by my mother. That's a story in itself. She had been trying to find any kind of reason to have my children taken, and this was just the first time she had anything real that actually stuck. The director of CPS recommended I get a protective order. My kids were returned on the condition that I take parenting classes and pursue therapy, which, as I said before, I've been doing just that. If I'm being honest, what my mother meant for evil actually ended up saving me. Once I moved, I understood why some family took a step back from me. I figured they were afraid of being associated with any of the bad stuff. But it's been 6 years. In those 6 years, I've tried to reach out and keep a relationship with my brothers. I tried calling regularly. Junior hardly picked up. When he did, the call was pleasant, but he never initiated any calls to me or keeping up with my life. I was okay with that. He's in his 50s and has grandchildren. It makes sense why he didn't have time. Nick made time for calls, and I always enjoyed getting to talk to him. Slowly, though, he stopped answering as much. I get texts on holidays. Occasionally, I can get him on the phone and we catch up. We literally live 20 minutes away from one another. The last time Junior called me was to ask if I could pick him up some Chinese food because he didn't want to pay DoorDash to do it. I was at work so I couldn't. That was almost a year ago. When Nick has called, and it's not a return call from me initiating contact, it's been to ask for money. Once, it was to ask for clean urine. I know I enabled when I said yes to both. I feel pathetic just typing this out. It feels like I was doing anything to maintain the last shred of relationship I had left with my dad's side of the family. I guess the urine was for a job, and Nick got a really good one with benefits. He met a really nice lady that he loves a lot. I guess she was the reason he wanted to get the job. It's not like I know a lot of details of his life. LOL, he's sober now, and recently he was saved and baptized. I didn't get told that detail. A family friend told me, which stung a lot. When the same happened for me, and I invited him to my baptism, he didn't come. I figured that it was because it was a personal faith choice that I wasn't invited. Maybe I was just rationalizing. Yesterday, I ran into him at the grocery store. If I hadn't left the checkout and ran to the produce section for another piece of fruit, I never would have saw him. I tried to sneak up and playfully goose him like old times. He turned and saw me. We laughed. We hugged. I was so happy to see him. He was picking flowers out for his girlfriend. I told him that I had heard he got baptized. He confirmed he had, and then said he was getting married. Showed me a picture of the ring. He was really proud of how much he spent on it, which, to be fair, the old him could never have swung that price. I asked questions about the wedding, and suddenly it was, well, it's going to be really small, and, well, it's going to be really far away. And it just hit me right in the chest. He doesn't want me there. I tried so hard not to cry. The tears just spilled out. The men in our family don't know what to do with female emotion. The minute tears come out, they panic. He's all, hey, it's not like that. I said, then what's it like, Nick? I do everything I can to stay in your life, and it feels like you just push me out. I didn't even get to see you baptized, and you know how much I've rooted for you. Prayed for you. He said, I know. Who did you hear about that from? I told him, what does it matter, Nick? I didn't hear from you. At that point, I just needed to get out of there. He was still trying to talk to me, but I had tears streaming down my face, and I just wanted to get away. I went and grabbed what I needed and told him no. I don't want to talk to you, Nick. I'm happy for you. I'm glad you're doing well, but you hurt me really bad, and I can't talk to you right now. I'm leaving. I'm sure I embarrassed him because I know he hates public altercations. I know I embarrassed myself. I was in self-checkout and the poor attendant that assists everyone didn't know what to do, as I'm sure customers' emotional breakdowns were not covered in her training. She asked if I was okay, and I think I might have said no, but I will be. She offered a hug that I declined. The stupid self-checkout decided to not work, so a supervisor had to come and fix it, so there was an added witness. I just couldn't stop crying. The supervisor asked if I was okay and if they could do anything to help, and I just spewed out, well, I just saw my brother and found out he's getting married and I'm not invited. Her soft "oh" just sent me into a harder crying jag. I cried on the way to the car. I got stopped by a lady in the parking lot that checked on me. I told her that I was just having a really bad day. My sister called at this point, and I told the lady that and that I would be okay. She took my cart for me, and when I answered the phone I told my sister everything. She was way closer to Nick than I was. She had lived the last 2 years of Dad's life with both Nick and Dad. She's felt him pull away as well, but I don't think to the extent I have. He didn't tell her either. She's not invited to the wedding. I don't know what the plan was. Maybe he was going to tell us and I just messed it up, or maybe he was just going to get married in an intimate ceremony and was going to tell us later. Maybe I'm the asshole for the way I reacted and caused a scene. I have cried off and on and went to bed last night with a headache. I woke up this morning and just decided to pour it all out on here. So, am I the a-hole? Love stories like this? Then make sure to hit that like button, drop a comment below, and subscribe so you never miss what's coming next.